Here you see the underside of our early CJ5 Repli tub. This covers years 1955 to early 1970. However, everything you see here is very similar to our late 1970 to 1971 CJ5 Repli tub, as well as our 1972 to 1975 CJ5 Repli tub. As many Jeep enthusiasts know, these tubs are almost identical to CJ6 tubs of their respective years, just with extensions. Similar to our flat fender Repli tubs, and as you saw earlier in the video on our CJ3B, all of the mounting locations are installed in their correct location to allow seamless installation on original unmodified chassis. Now, one thing you may notice on this crossmember here, for example, is that the mounting holes are not centered in the crossmember on the body. That is certainly no reason to be worried. We can assure you that the mounting points are in the correct location to allow for the proper reveal against the rear bumper on the chassis. The Philippine bodies do have some variation in crossmember locations, and that is why you see this. However, on the rest of the tub, you will notice that all factory bracing, cross members, and floor cutouts are in place in their correct locations. For those of you who have used early CJ5 Philippine bodies before, this is a common issue where the clutch pedal, which would come through this hole right here, interferes with this hat channel. However, our hat channels are trimmed to ensure proper clearance of the clutch pedal. We will now flip this body over so you can see everything that is unique to the Willys-Overland Repli tub on the top side. Now that we have the tub right side up, we will show you around all of our Repli tub modifications on the top side. Now, one thing to keep in mind during this video, this customer has opted for certain options that may not be found on every version of early CJ5. For example, this tub is going on a Jeep with the Oddfire Buick V6, which does require certain changes from a Jeep that is going to be equipped with the F134 four-cylinder. So we will be sure to ask you about the options of your Jeep that the body is going on at the time of ordering. Starting with the rear, you can see that we have drilled the holes for the taillight wire harness pass-through, as well as the reverse lights. Just as you saw on our CJ3B Repli tub, these tailgate hinges have been cleaned and shaped to the correct original size, and the tailgate this customer is purchasing has been pre-adjusted right in our shop. Now, just as we had mentioned when we were looking at the bottom, this tub is for a 1955 to 1970 CJ5 and is equipped with the underseat gas tank. So the fuel filler neck is in place, as well as the holes for the fuel tank line and drain. Should you have a late 1970 or 1971 CJ5, these holes would not be in place, and the fuel filler hole would be installed on the right rear tail panel. The shifter holes are in place and in their correct location. And you will see that the holes for the brake pedal, steering column, clutch pedal, and high beam switch have been installed. The V6 model does not use the gas pedal hole in that location, as does the F134, where that hole would be installed right here. You will see that the cover plate is included and the hole is installed for the brake master cylinder check. A new dash panel is included. Coming around to the front side, this lip has been trued and cleaned to bring back to a factory appearance. The holes are in place on the cowl for the hood hinges, with threads installed. The brackets are installed to hold up the grill rods that would be running to the front grill radiator support. On the firewall, as the Philippine bodies come, they are incorrect for both the early and intermediate CJ5s. We correct that in our shop. This customer has told us that he plans to install the original firewall mounted heater that you would find on a 1955 to 1971 CJ5. So the large cutouts have been installed, as well as all of the mounting holes. The hole is also installed for the wire harness pass-through, including the 1/8-inch holes to hold the factory original metal grommet. This is a hole that is installed in the Philippines and is incorrect. We weld it shut. The holes are also put in for the heater cable and for the emergency brake cable. Hole is added in for the speedometer cable as well. And moving over to the passenger side, since this is a V6 equipped Jeep, the battery tray is mounted on the firewall. And we do install the 3 necessary holes to hold up the battery tray. Again, should you have an F134 in your early CJ5, those holes would not be installed as the battery mounts on the frame. The holes are installed to mount the fender and are opened to a larger size to allow for more adjustment room. Finally, these tubs are equipped with the toolbox under the seat, just as you would have found originally on all 1955 through 1975 CJ5 Repli tubs.